I'm down for whatever, but I never fall. Whenever I need my soldiers, they there when I call. I'm never scared when it's time to lay my life down. I need some warriors to stand with me right now. Forget about the hate, I gotta stick to the plan. I pray to God every day to be a better man. With all this pressure, I'ma need to hold my own. I don't wanna do nothing. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. I'm Arthur J, and this is my co-host Tori, and we back with another episode. We want to welcome y'all to the Arthur J and Tori TV podcast, and we want to thank y'all for coming in and tuning in with us. Gun control.
Yes, sir.
Putting them in the wrong hands.
Let's go.
Tori, let's talk about it, man. I'm gonna get right into it, man. You know, this is a topic that, you know, we always think about the what is the how you said the one of the laws, the NRA. Am I saying it right? Law.
Yeah.
The right to bear arms, and we talk about protection. Everybody, so many people own guns, man. So many people, you know, legally own guns. So many people illegally own guns. I think this is so important because when you see a topic that says putting them in the wrong hands, and it's self-explanatory. When you have people who are not in their right mind or irresponsible, have it for the wrong reasons, that gets very tricky because on one end, we have the right to protect ourselves, but that's the key word, protect ourselves, you know, and be responsible. But how do we get to a place? That's a question that we all can ask, and it's a real good question. How do we put them in the right hands of people that's not going to be, you know, irresponsible and just go do some crazy stuff like what we've been seeing on the news, on social media, all over.
Mass shooting up schools and
innocent people,
and just it's crazy.
Innocent people are dying, man. Kids, man. Just recently, this church in New York. I don't know if you've seen it, but I saw it. I believe it was Brooklyn. This pastor, they robbed him at gunpoint. It's all over. They robbed him at gunpoint, had him get on the floor, took his money. They was masked up. Yeah. And you got them on camera, walk past the camera and walk out like nothing. And it puts you in a mindset of, you know, how do we even survive? And the reason why I asked that question, because when you take away guns, you know, it's literally hard to just completely do that because people can get them. Because you got people that illegally.
Guns are not going
exactly.
Anywhere.
So it's like, you know, it has to be a way that in this society that we can get more organized and exactly. I don't want to take what you said because I think I know what you're gonna say, and I'm gonna just say it, hopefully so you can remember what you were saying when you said a better background check. So I'm gonna tie you right into you elaborating what you meant on that better background check, you know, to make more sense of it.
I was coming from, you know, guns are, like we said, are always gonna be there,
right?
But the thing that we have to be more cautious of is the legal gun owners. The legal gun owners. It's so easy to legally own a gun. My thing with that, with a deeper extent of a background check, is if a person has a history of mental illness, I believe it should be a deeper thing to look into for as purchasing them or letting them get a gun. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably the only medical background that I think you should be able to look into, the mental stage of people when purchasing these guns. Like illegal, you're not going to be able to stop that. Illegally, guns are always going to be there. But the thing about the legal part of it is you get caught with that gun, it's consequences behind that. You're going to jail. But legally owning a gun is so easy. I think Texas is, don't get me wrong, Texas, I'm sorry if I'm mistaken, but I think it's one of the easiest places to get a gun.
Hmm.
You don't have to do too many extended background checks, or you don't have to. I think you could be 18 and just walk in and get one and get it and get it the same day. In Florida, I know it's a 3-day wait without your permit. You know what I'm saying? So it just becomes too easy for the legal gun owners to own guns. We can't do nothing about the illegal guns that people are purchasing on the street, but the law will catch up to them hopefully quicker than sooner. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, most of these things that are current are from legal gun owners. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
These kids shooting up school legally with guns. You know what I'm saying? So you don't hear too much about mass shootings from, say, the urban communities where most of the illegal guns are purchased, and that's against each other, not a massive variety or random people. You know what I'm saying? So
right. You know, and it's very interesting that you say that, because that's the question that I be having. How do they go about executing these steps to owning a gun legally? You know, how do they further secure? Because it never can be perfect, obviously, but that we do agree that there could be extra steps that they should and they could take. And I think the viewers will want to know, well, what are some of your ideas, or what are some of my ideas of them taking further steps to have a further background check to be able to own a gun legally, because you're always going to have a problem of somebody having a gun. So how do we eliminate at least a lot of problems that are so easy to just come about?
And for the most part, if you extend a deeper background check, just like you have to wait on your background to come back clean, you have to wait on that medical review to come back clean. That's just one of the things that I was thinking of. You know what I'm saying? And then that's probably going to take maybe a week or two to legally get your gun. But it'll be, I would think a lot of people that wants to own guns will be kind of skeptical of getting guns, because now they don't want to go through the heavier due process. So now you're eliminating more people that has guns. But I'm for guns. I'm for guns and used the right way. I have a few of them. I'm not gonna lie, I'm a gun owner, but I use it to protect my family, and that's how I use it. Now I'm all for that. But like I say, it's more so for just to make the system harder to purchase guns, because it's a lot of people that's unstable that's able to get these guns. And who knows, you can't be with somebody 24 hours making sure they take their medicine. And I'm not saying all of these cases are coming from people with mental health. We just have bad people in this world. And so don't get it twisted. We do just have bad people in this world, but mostly the percent is higher with people who were suffering from mental illness.
Something
you know
to
what I'm
think
saying?
about, right?
You know, that's where I say we start. But, I was talking about this with a coworker, even though we weren't supposed to be talking about this stuff at work. But we was talking, and at the end of the day, he was suggesting that the government on conspiracy type things is allowing a lot of this stuff to take place. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, I was like, I do believe that in some cases. But in most cases, I do just believe that it's bad people in this world that is looking to do bad things. So,
Right. It's so often that when you try to come up with a solution, it'll always, but what about this? And you try to come up with another solution, but what about this? But it's all about taking a step. In anything in life, you gotta take a step to at least try different things, to better things. And that's the thing that I don't think is happening in our system and our laws, is that it's not put out there to try to help minimize the terrible crime that's been happening.
And
it's one of those things that it's like is out there. We looking at it in one way of they have the right. And you're not looking at steps, or it's laziness to me.
Man.
Because if you put in office in whatever position, whether you whether you I don't know, the government, the the senator, the president, whatever
Mhm.
position you in, if you put into some kind of leadership where you can your voice matter
Mhm.
and you can actually put words in ears of congressmen or whatever,
Yeah.
it should be a concern
Mhm.
for your people,
Mhm.
whether it's white, black, Hispanic. It should be a concern because when you took the office and you took that leadership role and you were sworn in or whatever, you know, shouldn't it be a concern of protection?
They say that. That's
You
always
know,
their first thing, gun control. That's how they always bait us when these elections run around. But we see no new laws being put in place. You know what I'm saying? And my thing
right,
is saying everything is not gonna be perfect.
right,
But it's nothing wrong with trying.
right.
Trying every
Because
and
I
it's
don't
so
see them
easy for
trying.
them. They change laws every day. And I'm gonna go into this. Like even with this abortion law, they just passed this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So why, if you could pass a law like that where a woman can do with their body, how can you not try to pass more laws to have more gun control? You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So you have a free to carry law with the gun and forced to carry law with these women and their children. You know what I'm saying? It's a big thing. It's their priorities are messed up. You know what I'm saying? It's so like this stuff, this violence on guns, it could be changed. But you willing to put all your effort in forcing a woman to carry a child. And I know that's a little off top, but I just wanted to give you a clue
very
of
good point.
how the system is working.
Mhm.
You do this, and then you know what I'm saying. What about this stuff that's taking people's lives too? You know what I'm saying? It's just it's something has to be done. And like I said, it's nothing wrong with changing. If it don't work, okay, government, go back to the drawing board. That didn't
Right.
work. Let's do something else. Put something else in play. And I'm a gun, like I say, I'm a gun holder. So I'm for guns, but I'm also for getting them to the right people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
And that's the challenge right there.
You know?
It's like,
And I'm not talking about criminals, because criminals going to find a way.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They're going to find a way. But if they're caught with their guns,
You know what the consequences.
you know what the
of that.
consequences is.
But people
gonna be.
that people that have that are have guns legally,
Exactly.
that's the challenge.
That is
and
the
that's what the
challenge.
whole topic is about. Because how do you organize, or how do you put things in a perspective of or putting the guns in the right hands when they have the right legally, because they went through the process. They went through the process that's
The
going on
easy
now,
process.
the easy process, but they're not going through the process that we think they should take steps further to just be like, okay, we got to make it more challenging and not as easy to just
it's just like,
you just gotta. We have to do something.
We have
and
to
we're
do
not saying
something.
that we have all the answers,
No,
in my
it's
Kanye
a
West
start.
voice. You don't have the answers, Sway. You don't have no. But we have to really challenge ourselves, from top to bottom of what can we do to try to minimize this,
Exactly.
because it's out of control, man. It's
and
too
that's
many
my
innocent
thing.
lives being taken, and it shouldn't.
The same way, they focus on stuff that's just really not that important. Just like police reform. Have we put in laws to protect the law-abiding citizens from police harassment or police killings and all that stuff? And I'm for the police. Don't get it twisted, because if I have a problem, I know what I'm supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's so easy for somebody to become a cop. Just like it's so easy for people to get a gun.
That's a very good point.
Now you got a gun with a badge. You know what I'm saying? And it's just like these laws they are passing is like crazy, which don't mean nothing. They ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say don't mean nothing, but the important laws that needs to be addressed is not. So, but it's like I say, it's all about talking, man.
You made me think about something when you brought up the example of a police officer, and I've heard people say this when situations of police officer doing something that they shouldn't do, or handling the situation in a way that they should not have handled it. How much experience do they really have?
Exactly.
How much knowledge do they really have? I'm going somewhere with that.
Mhm.
So when a person owns a gun legally, and it's a question,
Mhm.
do you think they should really take heed to asking themselves, the people who are selling these guns, or not even that, just the whole government should really look into seeing how much experience, how much knowledge further
Mhm.
the education of owning a gun, really up in the steps of
Mhm.
let's see where your mind is at. Not to say it's going to be perfect, it's going to do the trick, but do something that you've never done before in the process of having a gun, because
Yeah.
that one extra step
Mhm.
could really make you see a red flag and be like, okay, no, you need to really
Yeah, you
prove
need
yourself
exactly.
in order to just be able to just get own this gun.
See,
And I
for
know
me,
that's gonna roughen a lot of feathers, but
it shouldn't.
it shouldn't, because at the end of the day, this could be your son.
Exactly.
This could be your daughter. Somebody could walk into your son or your daughter's school and shoot them and kill them.
Yeah.
And then I guarantee you will have a different perspective
Yep.
on how you feel about it.
Yep.
Because we're not saying just throw away the guns.
No.
We're not saying that nobody should have the right, but we just showing concern.
Mhm.
Concern of like, what can we do? What
Yeah,
can we
that's
do
all.
as a community, as people that are in the system where they can make change. What can
Mhm.
we do as far as when it's time for voting time and we can go to the polls and just, what kind of law can we make, or whatever
Exactly.
it takes to try to better the situation, because it's too many easy ways
Easy
to
ways
just
to
own
that's
one,
my thing.
and people have their mind. You're not even doing no background check, because it's all
And-
about the dollar.
And when you have your license, just say you go take the permit class. Now they
Mhm.
give you, I believe in every gun you own, you should have to take a class for that gun.
Mhm.
You only have to take one permit to
Mhm.
be able to carry. And if you go to a dealership or a gun show, whatever, you can walk out that same day with your gun. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? I think that's, like you said, the steps needs to be more for looked into more classes. Do you know how to shoot this? Can you handle this gun?
Right,
Can
that's
you
what I was talking about.
different areas in that. Now the thing that lies with that, and I'm not gonna be long with it, is the people that already, like myself, own guns. What do
Mhm.
we do for that? You can't take
Good
our
question.
guns back. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So it's just something that just has to be done, man. Because I am tired, and I go to a lot of events myself. I don't want to have to be like just so weird, because you don't just say we go to the movies because we movie gurus.
Mhm.
I don't want to be in fear so much. Like, dang, I'm in here, but you definitely got to keep your head on the swivel, because it's so much stuff happening these days. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But
Right.
it's sad,
And to
man.
piggyback on what you say, what about the people who already own guns? I mean, sometimes in life, Tori, things happen after the fact. So it's just like people that already had something. I can't think of no example right now, but let's just say somebody already had something, and then they changed the law and they made it where now, in order to get this, you got to go
Yeah.
through this. But the people that didn't have to go through that didn't have to go through that. It's just unfortunate, but
Yeah.
sometimes it happens like that. But at least you're making some kind of effort and some kind of change to
And-
try to help.
And parents, please pay attention to what your kids are doing. You know what I'm saying? That's one of the biggest things. What the heck do your 18-year-old child, 19, 20-year-old child need with an AK
Let's get into that.
rifle? We have to parent. Like these kids be having bombs and all that stuff you hear about in their rooms, and the parents don't be knowing about it till the FBI or somebody get involved and be like, well, he was on the internet looking at such and such and such, how to do this, how to do that. But we have to make sure we looking in on our children. No, we cannot see what they're doing 24 hours a day, but I'd be damned if I have it in my house and I don't know about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we just have to be mindful of
You
how
have
we
to-
parent.
You have to really challenge yourself, parents. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's always a topic on many things that
Go
we
through
talk
their
about.
phones. Don't be scared.
Because that extra step, it's just like we was talking about extra steps that may save a life.
Exactly.
You have to go through that extra step as a parent to just really analyze and see what is going on in your house, because it's so many situations when you hear about, you know, in a kid situation shooting in school.
Mm-hmm.
It make you question the parents. It make you be like, okay, how much were you on top? Because you know you're not gonna catch everything, but you can catch a lot of things.
Yeah.
You know, so it's definitely important to challenge ourselves as parents to in situations like that. But getting into the back to the just grown men
Yeah.
who we see situations like that. I think for the people who are responsible, you know, it's I think you could get a message out there. I think more people who own guns
Mm-hmm.
legally and they are obviously in their right mind, they're responsible.
Mm-hmm.
Educate the people. As many people, don't wait. Don't just, well, I own a gun and don't say anything. That could be a
Exactly.
big help to just, you don't have to have no big platform. You don't have to have no podcast. You don't have to have, educate people. Educate your family. Educate your friends. Even people who own guns just like you, because they may not be as responsible as you are. You know, talk about it. Have these conversations that we don't usually have, because most of the time when we just have guns and we just carry on with our life, but we don't ever talk about, okay, the scenarios of what if this happened? What if this happened? You know, just putting a seed in people in their ear to let them know, okay, man, we need to be more aware of, like, you know, so we can, you never know, you may come across that person that may say something that you can, a red flag can go off and you can be like, okay, nah, we need to do something about this. We need to, you know, we need to report something. We need to save something. We need to watch out for this. We need to, you know, it's just all about communication. It's all about putting it out there. What's some of the things, ideas that you think that would be helpful to try to get messages out like this in this world?
I think it'll be more respected as people, because you don't hear most gun owners like myself say, let's have harder rules and regulations to have guns. Most of the time, the gun owner is not for, let's go deeper into having guns, and it's be more the people that don't have guns that be trying to push laws to get in place for it to be harder. I just think it's more, like you said, more gun owners should come, and these gun companies should have for their product, they should have it. Maybe you could start there. A deeper rule set in place to own their particular brand of gun. I know it's all about. I know that'll affect your bottom line. I know it's all about the mighty dollar, but money is not worth life.
I'm telling you,
money is not worth life, and your gun companies are there to make sure that people are protected. That's your first thing, not money. You know what I'm saying? So make it harder for people to own your brand, a gun. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we can just start with that. Just the gun owners and the companies making it harder for their brand to be sold just easily as it may, even though it will affect their bottom line, which is money. But again, money is not everything. Life is everything.
It's tough, man, because as I keep thinking, I always keep going back and forth in my mind. I just keep thinking, like, you know, it's always going to be somebody that's saying, but this.
Exactly.
But you just can't avoid. Nobody's saying that you're going to avoid everything. In life, period, you're never going to complete. This is not a perfect world. We know that. You're going to always have some lunatic people. You're going to always have some people that's out their mind. You're going to always have some bad people. You're going to always have some good people. But to do nothing is worse than trying to do something.
Yeah.
Let that breathe. Man. So you got to ask yourself, what are we doing to just voice to say that, okay, hey, we need to do something. We need to try to come up with some ideas to help, you know, better this community, better this world when it come down to putting the guns in the right hands.
Exactly.
You know, you can't just completely do that, but we can make efforts to try to make sure it's not, you know, in the hands that it shouldn't be in.
And I'm gonna say this before we run out of time. I haven't, and my partner haven't, that I know of, had any victims that has fallen victim to mass shootings or things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm bringing it to you as a person that care. I had a question to ask. Do we really care like that if it don't affect us? And my question was yes, because it could have been one of ours. Right. It could have been a family member of ours. But people will realize or will start to really care about these gun laws and things that's going on in this world when it hits home.
Right.
So please, if it don't have to be that right now, let's band together and figure this thing out, because no one has the answer. All we have is opinions, and we can try to do something. But don't sit back and do nothing, because one day it might just land at your doorstep, and then you want to cry about it.
Absolutely, man.
So,
and that's the thing that we should all care about, man. When you see kids getting killed, when I see, I can't even think of the elementary school, it makes me think about my daughter. She's about to go to middle school now, but it makes me think. I remember when I was in middle school, the Columbine High School, when that happened. That was the first time I've ever heard anything like that at that time. And now you hear things like that, and it shouldn't feel normal, but it feels normal.
It's
and
that's happening every
sad.
year.
I remember just talking to my mom about that Columbine long time ago, and just thinking to myself, like, wow, man, how easy it was for him to just get a hold of those guns like that. And it just make you think about in today, where people are legally able to get these guns, just seem like a lot easier than it was back in the days. And it make you think, like, okay, for the responsible people, how do you identify? That's why you have to try to come up with some kind of system where, people know it's going to be steps, because like you said earlier, people get aggravated, and
exactly.
You just try to, it's just like when, for an example, when 9/11 happened, I remember how you used to can go through the airport before 9/11 happened. Now, when 9/11 happened, you got to get to the airport a lot earlier.
2 hours early.
I'm trying to tell you. But people in their mindset know that it's going to be steps. So I always say a crazy person ain't that crazy, because they know once it's, security and stuff, and once it's so many steps, so many things you got to go through, and it's just so much many more. They think twice. Not to say that it eliminate crime and murder completely, because we don't live in a perfect world, but it makes a person, it makes it that more difficult. So that's basically what we're saying. Is like, and I agree with you on that, man. You just gotta make it a little bit more difficult to try to do something, because right now it just seems like, okay, we're just trying to make $1, versus just people feeling protected. And that's when you have a problem, is when you thinking about more of the money than your people being protected. But that's what it's really all about, man. Before we wrap it up, we got like a minute. You got one last thing you want to say before I wrap it up?
And last thing I probably want to say, people probably don't want to feel like they're in prisons, but we might need more security methods in these movie theaters when you walk in something. And I know in these schools, I know people don't want to feel, but it's not there for you to feel like you're in prison. It's there for your protection. I'd rather have to walk through a metal detector for my protection than end up on the daily news as a headliner.
Man, yeah. It's so much to think about, man. It's like we always say every episode, we can just go on and on and on, especially when you said that, because you made me think about a whole nother thing to discuss. But we're gonna wrap it up here, man. Like, subscribe, share. We have more on the way. Y'all stay tuned, because we have more content to come y'all way, and we know y'all gonna be on the edge of y'all seats and everything. But this is the Arthur J and Tori TV podcast.
Yes, sir.
And like we always say, till next time, peace. I hate the feeling that I get when I wanna quit. Keep my composure when a hater say something slick. Talking 100 when you don't keep it 50. I see the fake every time you hanging with me. You say you straight, but your actions showing different. That's right. Why should I